Hello, everyone, and welcome to the July edition of the Atlassian Community Roundup. For those of you in the Northern Hemisphere, I hope you're having a wonderful summer, and for those in the Southern Hemisphere, I hope your winter's going just as well. As always, we are here to take a look at all the articles that have been posted in the last month, and I'm going to highlight some of the ones that I think you should go and check out. I thought for sure things were going to slow down, but to my surprise, there is tons of great content once again to look at. So without further ado, let's dive in. Okay, so to begin with, as always, I have said that if there is a security vulnerability that is announced, I'm going to share that with you first because I feel it's important that everyone be aware of these and take the necessary steps to protect yourselves. I was very disheartened this month because there wasn't just one, there are 3 of them that we need to point out. But let's go through them one at a time and we'll get there. So the first one was about the Jira mobile plugin. Once again, this is affecting data center and server. So I highly recommend go to the article, check out the vulnerability report, see if it's something that you're going to be affected by. And if you are, take the necessary remediation steps to protect yourself and your company. Cyber attacks are on the rise right now. That this is super important to take care of as quickly as possible to protect yourself. So as much as CVE 2022 26135 is the first one. Not too long ago, 136 and 137 were also posted, and these ones cover multiple server and data center products. So this one's probably more widespread and something that you should probably take a look at for sure. As I just finished saying, take the steps that you need to protect yourself and your company. Cyber attacks are on the rise, and I would hate to see anyone's company in the headlines of having been the victim of a cyber attack. On the same vein of upsetting news, the Bitbucket power-up for Trello is being sunsetted. So if this is something you have been using to connect your Bitbucket to Trello, unfortunately, it's going to be end-of-lifed in October of 2022. It's upsetting if it's something you've been using, but I think it's one of those things where Atlassian needs to pick and choose where they're focusing their efforts based on what users are actually making use of. In more positive news, the Beginner's Guide to Agile. If you are new to Agile, this is a great aggregation of some things that are going on around the community about sharing your Agile tips. 3 of them have been shared in links here, as well as some of the other things that were going on in the training and certification group. So if you're looking to learn more about Agile, this is where you can definitely find out some more information. If you have tips to share, it's never too late to chime in with your own experience. Next up, as far as learning more things, the Jira Service Management Form Builders team. Forms are still relatively new into the Jira Service Management platform, and there are 30 days of demos that are currently going on. You can see the list of everything that they plan to show off feature-wise that you can do in Forms, and as they complete the demonstration videos of them, they're being uploaded here as sort of a table of contents for everything that you can watch. If you haven't checked out any of these yet, I highly recommend going and watching them. If Forms are something that you've been looking at getting involved in, these will definitely help you out. And I know that the Forms team is very responsive if you have feedback on this stuff. So if you see something that you would like more information about, definitely post it, and I'm sure they would be happy to provide you more details. Next up, if you missed the announcement, general availability for 35,000 users is now available on Atlassian Cloud products. So previously, I believe the cap was 20,000 users, so it has now been increased to 35,000. And Atlassian Access is now increased to, I believe it was 150,000 from its previous of 70,000. Now, what that's talking about is that you could be using a single access point for Trello users in addition to Confluence and Jira users. So not everyone will be using all of the same products, and therefore you can have a higher number of managed accounts versus the number of accounts that are in a single site for Jira or Confluence or any of the Atlassian cloud products. Over on the data center side, it has now been not released. It has been announced when the next long-term support releases are going to be for Jira Software and Jira Service Management. You can expect those in Q4 of the 2022 calendar year. I don't think more details have been provided, but I'd recommend checking out the article to see what you can expect feature-wise and any more details that they have on there. In case you missed it, July was Jira was the theme for July. There were a whole bunch of activities that were going on, and this article in particular is a good aggregation of everything that happened. So if you want to catch up on everything that you missed, Friday the 15th was Jira Admin Appreciation Day. There was a haiku contest. There's a configuration diary, which is still open if you want to add your own thoughts and feelings about your favorite configurations. So please feel free to go here and catch up on everything that happened. As always, we love doing a Jira Heroes post, and this month it is Zach. I hope I get this right, Mixner from M&T Bank. His story reminds me very much of the use case that my company was looking at as well, as far as trying to make information more available to people and trying to standardize on a single tool. So I highly recommend checking out the tips that Zach has as far as the learning path of getting from where they started to where they are now, and the tips he has for admins on just the process of getting there. In particular, the one thing that I think I really loved was the don't expect Jira software to magically solve all of your issues. While the tool itself will solve some of your problems, it primarily brings visibility to them and can provide the data to help you solve them. Remember, no tool fixes a broken process, and no process fixes a broken mindset. I loved that particular phrase, and I wanted to call it out specifically, but read the whole article. It's fantastic. Related to that, the Atlassian team is looking for more people who would like to be featured as a Jira Heroes admin. If you have a story about your company that you would like to share, please reach out to the Atlassian team via this post. And you never know, it might be your article that I'm featuring on one of these roundups. Last but not least, JiraCon 2022 has a save the date. It will be coming back the end of September. If you saw it last year, it was great. I was there. It was a fantastic set of presentations. It was all virtual, which that can be good or bad, depending on how you look at it. I enjoyed being able to get involved in things while things were still locked down for me, that I couldn't actually go anywhere. But it was... there were a number of really good presentations, a number of fantastic speakers. I am definitely looking forward to it again. So I would say definitely save the date and consider attending this year. That's what we have for articles, but as we know, we always talk about some of the trending discussions, and let's dive into the top 5 of those. And I want to start by saying I am not rigging these. The Welcome Wednesdays just happened to be there. If there were other things that made the top 5, I would not be promoting my own content. But this one, from the beginning of July, I will say I posted at a place when I needed motivation because I was feeling a little low on it. And I will say that there were a number of fantastic people who shared all of their stories about how they stay motivated. If you have something you'd like to share, please feel free to chime in on this one. The fact that it was posted at the beginning of the month and it's still trending I think is a testament to that. Next up, the Atlassian Docker image for Jira software could not be upgraded. And I started reading through this discussion, and it looks as though the Atlassian team has responded and has recommended updating the Docker engine to the latest version. It looks as though there's a bit of a requirement for the version of the Docker engine that you're using before you can upgrade the Docker image. So I would check this out if you're having this problem. If you're on the version that they recommend for as sort of a minimum, be sure to comment on this if you're still having issues, much like some of the people in here were having ahead of Atlassian posting. Next up is our Miscellaneous Monday. I thought this was a really great post that Andy made, seeing the forest through the trees, all about sharing our favorite types of trees. And this was in relation to the post that Monique made at the end of June about how July liking content, Atlassian was using that as a promotion to plant trees. So if you have not been liking content in July, you should have been liking content in July to help get Atlassian to plant more trees. I know I was doing my best to like everything I could, so thank you to everyone who has helped out with that. If you have not commented on this with your favorite types of tree, go in there and share what ones you like. Next, the Atlassian team was looking for enterprise customers to talk about the billing experience. I don't know if they are still looking for users to share that feedback, but it might be worth reaching out in this thread to see if that's something that they're still looking for. If not, there will be other opportunities to share your feedback in the future. And then finally, we go to the Teamwork Lab. And I will admit that everything that Christine posts, I always find very engaging. It always makes me think. And this one is specifically talking about the power behind your work name. And more specifically, do you have a nickname at work and or a name that your teammates refer to you as, and what effect does that have on your behavior by being called by a specific nickname or, another version of your name by your teammates and your coworkers? And with that, we've come to the end of the roundup for July. I hope you've enjoyed the July edition of the Atlassian Community Roundup. Before I let you go, I want to use this time just for a small, shameless self-promo. Outside of my work and the Atlassian community, I know a number of you are aware that I am involved in charity streaming for Extra Life, which supports local Children's Miracle Network hospitals. August is going to be a big milestone month as there's a major event. If you are interested in finding out more about what I'm doing, you can reach out to the Twitter account I have for that, at CyberwolfJimmy, or I will leave all of the links to the work that I'm doing that you can follow along in the YouTube description for this. With that, I hope you enjoy the remainder of your summer, and I will see you back here next month. And as always, thanks for stopping by.